Why hello, I should be here, and we can immediately get into it. Theoretically speaking, I should be able to immediately get into it. Because if I'm not, oh my goodness. If I had done things correctly, we would be able to not use a countdown timer, but unfortunately I have to use it. So here I am. And as always, we'll be doing an Ath run into a Zektast run. I really should plan Azal. I better even just do something separate for that. Because I don't want Azal to feel left out, as weird as that may sound. So here I am doing the stream, and I'll see if I do anything else. Otherwise, it's more usually a chill stream anyway, especially if it's custom content. Unless it's new custom content, then I might concentrate on something else. But as we get into Ath World of Horror character exclusive custom characters for the first time today, I've completely forgot what we start out with. It's definitely not Expel Evil. Deduction, and I think that's it. Some characters will start with only one bonus or detriment, really, because you can give them anything. Light, Charisma, second maybe, Knowledge, Takshi-san. And when I say anything, I mean anything currently in the game. There have been a few misunderstandings, both on my part and others' part, in terms of what you can actually give to a custom character at least. And as I'm working through events and didn't get to finish my mods in time, I will see what I decide to do later. But here I'm just going to take a risk, and for the sake of timestamps, I usually end up stopping to talk, even though I don't think I've really added any of that in my streams. That's all I'm really trying to say. So we'll get into it. 6 Knowledge, 6 Charisma should mean an Occult Shop play, or setting the Occult Shop, but I'm deciding not to, in the interest of maybe taking a risk here. It's normally not worth it, because as you see here, well, we can get the Hospital Pass for Ward. Our more immediate problem is that we still don't have a weapon. So, we did not enable the hardware store, which means I can't get the chainsaw, because you need the fuel from the hardware store, for those who don't know. Nonetheless, I usually like to grab... Oh, did I take the bath already? Please tell me I did not take a bath. Well, we got 2 Expel Evils. I should have cast one of these. I just made a mistake. Because you can heal stamina in the bath, and when you enter the bath, you heal 1 stamina, 1 reason. So, I should have 11 stamina. I messed up. But we're here now, and 2 Expel Evils is very, very good, by the way. What's less great is that I need a weapon now. I can use the History Club a few times, so I can pop in a few times and take a look. You know what? We're on Ath, so that's gonna be great, but we still want a weapon, something better than the wooden bat, but we'll hold out for more funds before we think about entering the illegal den. Why am I forgetting? Because we're gonna grab the Hospital Pass. That's for certain. Now we have the Seaside School. I had nails, painting, trying to remember my mysteries. I don't know why I forgot, but Ward and something else. I'm just going to set it to school. You're usually not going to visit Seaside a lot with the current mysteries you have anyway. And on that note, I guess I can autopilot for a moment as I say... Usually, there's a very, not discrepancy, but there is a very, how should I say? There's a divide between wanting things to remain balanced if you make custom content, and actually, you know, making a cohesive mystery or set of mysteries if you're trying to work with a theme. The reason I say that, and that's probably not the best way I could have worded it, but let me explain. So, the thing about custom mysteries is that when I'm making custom mysteries, and I haven't really released any yet, I'm still working with what I've got, is that a lot of the time I end up making forced events. The problem with that is the little Doom issue. And I don't want to, this is going to sound bad, I don't want to rely on the developer updating or fixing things. I want them, because the game is going to be out and stay out for a while. And therefore, again, if anything really strange were to happen where the developer is no longer updating World of Horror anymore, then you need a solution to that. And my main issue is, again, when you force events, mainly when Doom doesn't increase, it results in your mystery being easier. That's just a natural course. Yes, I have a plate beside me because I'm pretty much at the end of my sickness. I'm feeling fine now, but hold on, let me focus on this for a moment. I don't think I can take this fight. No, I can't. But I can't keep running, so 60, 90. That doesn't look great either. What do I want? 5 strength isn't actually a lot either. I can't even do an attack. Yeah, the wooden bat is so trash. I'll get back to talking about custom. I'll get back to talking about custom mysteries in a moment. I don't want to take this fight, do I? 6 stamina for this, and I think relative. Even if it gave me like 12 experience, this would not be worth it. So we're just gonna run. But yeah, for custom mysteries, I think if that's still a thing, if it's not a thing for some reason, even though I'm pretty sure it is, where your doom does not increase for forced events, then my whole thing can change. But my issue is that if that's going to happen, then the other problem of, hey, well, Jordan, just don't use don't use forced events then. The problem with that is that it results in kind of a detachment where you investigate and events are kind of not really related to the mystery most of the time, if not all the time. So what happens is, and yeah, that depends on the player to immerse themselves to some extent, but still though, then what I would... the ideal solution right now for me would be to make a whole pack of events. I guess that's the best way to put it. I really don't like this encounter, by the way. Also, no Ritual Mask proc, so I just took full reason damage. But in the interest of actually fighting an enemy, we'll just do this. But yeah, the ideal solution would be to make a whole event pack. The biggest problem there, and the more realistic problem, is that making a whole event pack takes time, because then you need to make enough events to not roll into vanilla events, and then you need to make enough enemies so that you're not fighting vanilla enemies. You get what I mean? So it really depends. I mean, if you're making a whole... Say for a custom character, you want to make a World of Horror theme around that character, you would need to make upwards of 5 mysteries, and then add in a whole... Basically, you have to make all near 90 to 100 events. If even that much, because I think... No, yeah, about that much. And then you would need at least 4 enemies per location. Comfortably, I think you might need more. I can't remember, because even though I've played through a mod pack myself, it's a lot, basically. And that's just for one character. Now, you could compromise and just basically make a pack of events for mysteries that you want to theme the events around, but again, that's still time it's taking. It's not as much as it's not as much if you were to, say, do it for a lot of characters. I forgot what this character... We're going to take first aid, by the way. Like, if every time you make a custom character, you had to make 90 events and 20 enemies, that would be an endeavor. It's not that it would be impossible to do, but it's an endeavor. Like, and if we want to be mean about it, we could just say, well, no one's done it yet. So, if we're talking about, or not a lot of people have done it. Obviously, more than a few modders have made mod packs with a lot of events and enemies, enough to sustain, or basically make it so that World of Horror does not seem like the base World of Horror. But still, it's again, it's more than most games would get. That I will say. I would have liked to pass that. I needed the funds. But as we get back to talking about the game in general, or this run in general, yeah, it's basically we still haven't seen a lot. Again, if I'm being mean about it. But yeah, having more than a handful of people already make a lot of events and enemies anyway to kind of sustain you. I mean, I don't want to use myself as a threshold or a point, but I've made this many videos and streams based on the base game already, up to what you've seen right now. Obviously, I'm doing custom character streams now, and I've done more than a few custom mystery streams, but you get my point. You have a lot to bite into with just the base game, and as other people are finding out, you definitely have a lot to bite into. Can I pass any charisma? I've rolled 11s and 12s in charisma checks, by the way, but anywho. I was going to do a thing, I was looking at something else because I saw OBS freak out for a moment, but we should be fine. Now, what's not going to be fine is my stamina, because we're still using a wooden bat, but I haven't grabbed anything better, so... Don't we have Akamanto after this as well? If I can trade Reason here, that might be a better option. That way I can go for... But I have Ward as well. Oh, I think I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I should have probably... Yeah, so... As I said at the start of this run, this character has high enough knowledge and technically charisma, and the character has fame. So you can build into ally attack. The problem is that recruiting allies at the schoolyard with 6 charisma can be a hard ask. So... Doing so means that you might have a very, very weak ally attack. There's a reason why Mizuki works a lot better with ally attack, and it's because she starts with a random ally. Now, you can give allies to a character, but they wouldn't be exactly random, unless you gave them character events, but that's another problem entirely. So we are going to do this. My question is, are we going to do anything more? Probably not. Now, I would like to hit this... 85, 75. Pretty much a coin flip. It's not a coin. It's probably a little better than a coin flip, but... Okay, good. I actually hit it. So we should be able to just do... Oh, we can't even do that. Never mind. Wow, this bat is such garbage. Go for a 95%, and if I miss, so be it. Good. We get our first aid. We get our restless bonus. I think we get our restless bonus. I forgot what my second encounter was. I think it was something I fought. It was a reason encounter because I had the ritual mask. I don't remember the name exactly, but that's how I'm remembering my second encounter. I cannot talk because my nose is stuffy, but we do have Akamanto, and then we have Ward. We can run from Ward, so we're taking Akamanto now. I really need a better weapon here, by the way, so because we have Akamanto, we're gonna rest as well, but I need a weapon. I need a better weapon. And that is a better weapon, so let's do it. We have an okay amount of perception, but I was building strength. I'm still going to be building strength, because braced. You'll find it a hard... It would be an endeavor to have me not build into strength, basically. So, because while you can... I will use weapons with like 6 or 5 strength, even if, say, they are the monkey wrench. The flip side of that is that I would have to have at least 9 or 10 dexterity, knowledge, or perception for me to really use anything else, and not build into strength. So, what do we even get here? Can we do 3 attack boosts guaranteed? The answer is yes. We take 2 all damage for it, but we get an occult diary here, so we're pretty much doing a trade here. Now, if we have fetid fumes, it's not as great a trade. If the enemy had drained my HP because it was a vampire enemy, we would have been in more pain. But for now, let's do our complete rests because we will need it. And we will move on. Don't ruin the call moment to quote-unquote heal reason. We do not. But hey. And you know what? Frostbite land, why not? We're about to enter Akamanto here, but hey. We have not the funds nor the power, so never mind. School nurse, that might actually have hurt me more. I think I went positive on reason. It's that you don't go positive on stamina. That's really what it is. And maybe Doom increases by 1, but We have Doom to kill, so hey, and then we'll do this. So, I think we can immediately do the thing. Can we? 15 HP. No, we cannot. Unless I throw the Ritual Mask, or I take a risk here. Do I want to take a risk here? 85, 85. No. The answer to that is no. So, we're going to do a Brace Kick first. Because we get 15 damage on a Desperation... or Desperate... Prep Strong. And away we go. No Bath, so that's gonna hurt us somewhat, but... we'll deal with it as we put a mask on top of a mask. And into Ward I go. So we're already losing 65% Doom here. We do have a hospital pass, so this is a lot shorter of a mystery. Actually, I should just take notes now. I don't know why I'm trying to guess this, but let me just do this first. So, first hospital. As I fight this bloodsucker. And yeah, do I want to... do I get this? 8 power. There's no way my accuracy is that bad, right? So this should be guaranteed. I should have traded Reason. Because we're about to patch ourselves up. I could heal stamina here. I should. I'm gonna heal stamina here. And no, I did not get a lot of sleep. Even though I have been resting to get rid of my illness. Oof. This is a downtown encounter. So I must have done a downtown investigation. Now, this is not great. I need to run here, but I don't know if I can even afford to run. 12 HP would work here. I did not brace, so I guess I'm just dead instead. I'm going crazy. But you know what? That's fine enough. It's not fine. But we'll move into a Zektast run. That run was... I should not have used the wooden bat. That is the end goal of... that is the end result of me making my own bad choices. But as we get into Zektast, Curious Birthmark, character exclusive, custom character once more. Deduction is nice. It is a lot of experience. Unfortunately, the weapon was the more pressing issue there. Second, knowledge, charisma, strength, and maybe Takshisan. But let's this time actually build into what the character can actually use. Unless we want to go for a chainsaw play, because we're going crazy. Although that would not be a great showcase of the character. It kind of could be, but... because deduction gives you some leeway working with a run in general, which means I could go for a chainsaw. But I don't think we have painting here. I don't see it on the board. Vigil, Recluse, Ramen, Arms, and Akamanto again. Now, we do have a weapon this time. The issue is we have to go into Vigil to use it. But maybe that's not so bad. So, Vigil, then we have Arms, Akamanto, and Recluse. I think I'm gonna go for... we'll save Recluse for third. We'll do Arms now. If we get the boss, so be it. But we want things from the occult shop. This is going to be a bit Doom intensive, especially since we're on Zektast. Zektast doesn't give you Doom, but the stat loss here is going to definitely hurt me. Now, when I don't get a weapon at all, this is why I don't really like Occult Shop. I think Occult Shop actually has half the number of weapons. Granted, Hardware Store... if we're comparing it to the Hardware Store, the 2 of the weapons in the Hardware Store are basically unusable to your average case character. We're still going to grab... we'll play with the Tainted Violin on Zektast, because the trade-off here is that I'm spending a lot of... well, now I'm grabbing curses. I do have a coin, but... yeah, we definitely need to get rid of Fearful. So we're gonna old coin away Fearful. We'll stick with the Suicidal proc. That's the price we pay. And yeah, I hate the occult shop. This is RNG, but I didn't get a single gosh dang weapon. I could grab Holy Candle, but I need a weapon, so... Like, maybe this is just not the day. This is just not the day. But we'll deal with it. Visit the monument twice. Trade whatever it wants. We'll trade whatever it wants and move on. So, encounter-wise, we should be relatively okay. What's not okay is my dexterity and my strength, technically. But we'll have to deal with it. We have deduction. Deduction is kind of a bit of a advantage against Zektas that you have. Still, though, you don't want to use too much Doom, because you do need a comfortable amount of Doom to grab experience from deduction specifically, but to level up mainly because you will be grabbing most of your experience from the End of Mystery. Now, you could be doing thorough investigations and fighting enemies as well, but there's only so much of that you can do before you just take so much HP's worth of damage, if that makes any sense. And so, therefore, completing mysteries is your best bet. Now, we can do prep attack. The issue here is that we're still taking -4 reason. But, I mean, it's better than the alternative, right? I should have done a thing. And we flashbacked into... We got Curious Birthmark flashbacked into Zektas 0 stat death. That's what happened there. So we're going to do another run. And I'm going to just set Hardware Store because I've given Occult Shop its chance. That was bad RNG, but that really... I should have just rerolled, really, if we're being serious for a moment. Well, if we're to think of other things I could have done. Second, Dexterity, Takshisan Knowledge, Charisma. So let's actually try that this time. We have Ill-Fated on Zektas, so I need to keep that in mind. I'm likely to forget, but I'll try to remember it. And let's see what we have this time. Festival, Scissors, Vigil, Mermaid's Flood. We're going to take Scissors first, and to that end, we're going to do... I can't do double knowledge, so let's just build Dexterity for now. Even though I shouldn't be scared because I don't have Curious Birthmark, but hey. So, this wooden bat is going to at least give us a weapon for now. But we are on Timeline A, so we can also go for the Cursed Scissors. Also, yes, Happy New Year. Thank you for the luck. Blessing these runs, and yeah, it hasn't gone very well so far. For all intents and purposes, I really should have given this character another run on Ath, but I think I've already given it my best, so... Hey. Now, this is not going to be great, but we'll just take a swing and take stamina damage. I don't want to throw the wooden bat here, but... Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to trade some reason here, but we'll need a lot more going into the Scissor Lady fight. So we'll see. We can throw the empty bottle. That we can also do. That guy is only worth 7 experience. Oh my goodness. Not that I'm asking for something like, hey, give us an extra point or 2 of experience for encounters on Harbinger. We're definitely running from this. But man, is it not worth it? But anywho, I mean, we were running into Time Warper, who is our second encounter, but yeah, I think we don't get to do this, do we? So what I can do, I think I can survive with the 1 stamina, 1 reason, right? We can. The issue is that I still have to take a gamble here. 77% does not look very fun. So I guess we are throwing the empty bottle. Because throwing the bottle and the bat will allow me to do 8 damage with a desperate normal attack, and I'm not feeling particularly lucky right now. So yeah, away we go. But the price we pay there is that we get a good weapon, I want to say, moving forward. So hey, as I nearly click my tongue into the microphone, let's move on. Vigil, Flood, Festival, Mermaids. I think I'm just gonna take Flood now. And we just one-shot this guy immediately, I'm pretty sure. But if the other reason why we're taking this mystery second is so that we can rest and heal. Now the downside is that we are fighting a very, very tanky boss. And yes, I've healed a bit from my sickness, so things are a lot better now, but still gotta deal with the thing of going through this week and doing stuff. Thank you, Zektast. I didn't need the perception, but whatever. And yeah, I'm feeling better though. Thank you for your concern. Also, we're on ill-fated, so I don't know why I just did that. But hey. And we rest until we're big and full. On Reason anyway, because this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt Reason anyway. Now I'm just gonna go for this. These are the best odds I have. And away we go. I'll go on for as long as I can. If I only go for 90 minutes this stream, please excuse me as I get back into the groove. Although that's kind of an excuse, but I am very busy this week, so we'll see if next week is a lot better. Thanks for the time skip and thanks for the Zektast. I really didn't appreciate it, but whatever. I should take quick thinking, but first aid is just so helpful that I'm going to take it. Now, if we get quick thinking again, that would be nice. But otherwise, we're just gonna grab a point of strength and dexterity afterward. We'll save we'll save Festival for after Vigil in case we need the healing, but yeah, and my heart does go. I know there are a few things happening on other parts of the world. Do I want this? I don't want this, actually. It might make a difference. I'm not going to equip the Demon Mask. So, yeah. I know because I do have a few audience members from certain places of the world. So I do hope that they're doing okay if they are affected by a current thing that's happening. Otherwise, I just hope that my videos and streams can cheer you up if if and when you're willing to come back. Or you're watching right now. I don't really know for sure, but hey. So I'll grab the meat cleaver, start doing the vigil because we need the doom. Yeah, I think we just eat this in the face. Eat this -2 all in the face. I forgot how much Puppet Matron gives you. 12 experience, you know what? Fine. Also, because we 2-turn that encounter with first aid, we're definitely fine. A sewing kit here would be nice. I'll see. Because I usually like to go for spells anyway, and I'm pretty sure... Wait, is that affected by ill-fated? I can't remember. But yeah, something real. Hope that's not what I think it is. Thank you for giving me strength. Finally, Zektast does a thing after 3 or 4 runs, I want to say. This includes off-recording runs, but anywho. On top of people putting out certain videos saying sorry, I should definitely know about that, as I obviously I'm interested in game developer news, so that's all I should say. So I'm not going to talk about things I may not know about. So I'll just say that much. And that kind of dates this video, or stream, because I'm doing the stream where I am now, or when I am now. Road's closed as well, so that's not going to be great for Festival. But as we move on, we could do a Fame play. Do I want to, is the question. Improvise is not bad with what I have right now. Oh yes, and public domain things. That's the third thing. If there are 3 things to talk about, one of those 3 things includes the iteration of a certain mouse from 70 plus years ago. because I think if you tried to use that mouse as they are portrayed, and it kind of makes sense, right? Like, if we're being if we're trying to be somewhat objective for a moment, it makes sense, right? You wouldn't say if I made the bunny here, that's the mascot of this channel, and 35 years later, someone makes another iteration of this bunny mascot for this channel. Then 35 years after that, so 70 years from now, you could not use the bunny mascot 35 years ago, because that's still relevant to the time. And this is in the US, I believe, right? Which I should know about, because I live in the US. That I know I can say. Ryoko, I would appreciate you, but no. But the same thing for this mouse, right? You would not use the Kingdom Hearts version of that mouse. You would have to use the 70 years plus version of that mouse. Which can be argued, and again, we can just say it outright. Infestation 88, is that what their name is? Sorry, hold on. Yeah, it is Infestation 88. So you could argue to some degree that is I guess the idea is the 70 plus version. Again, we'll see what actually happens. If someone really wanted to make a hubbub about it, they would, is what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. But it would be a hard-fought battle or not hard-fought, it would be a struggle to do something about that. But because of the public domain thing that is gone on. Again, it could go any way. That's all I'm saying. It's easier now than it was a day or two ago, but it could go any which way. It could go in the favor of, if anything were to happen, I'm just saying, because of how wishy-washy legalities can be, or how helpful they can be in the case that they're used for good. But anywho. And then I talked with someone recently. Does anyone in the chat know why horror games just happen to be the go-to for this kind of stuff? Like, for when things become public domain, why does everyone go to horror? I want to say it's because... I don't want to say it's because it's easy, because that's not the case. But I feel like a more relevant reason is that horror just happens to be the more... I don't want to say meme-worthy or troll-like response, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's the more... from a business standpoint, if I were to use that as my perspective, it is more friendly as a commercial genre, if that makes any sense. So I guess that would be not my strongest, but it would be a strong point I bring up in the reason of why horror games are like that, or what's used when IPs become public domain. That's what I'm trying to say. Also, I'm unill-fated, but hey, reason. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's easy to give, but I guess that would be the commonplace point where people go into, because you wouldn't really try to make a fighting game. I guess the next thing would be a shooting game, but again, you wouldn't make a roguelike, you wouldn't make a deck builder based on public domain things, because it is theoretically harder to do those things if we're to use the reasoning that we're working with here. But hey, we do want to get rid of this, so we're just gonna school nurse away that frostbite. And yeah, and I see what you mean, because it's a similar argument or a similar point that I've used to explain when I'm talking to others, or have talked to others. So yeah, people's mind often goes to, or developers, and this had to be even the word, like usually long before, because you don't just come out a day after this happens. You do want to be just like the quote in a certain movie, right? As I get close to dying here, is to either be first, be smart, or cheat. And obviously being first here means that you've prepared the game in advance. That way that's why it was immediately announced January 1st relative to, the public domain thing. Because you don't just come out with a trailer for the game here. I mean, obviously it's not complete. There's only so much you can do, but the game had to have been far enough along for them to make the announcement on the day of. Like, you don't start developing a game for even just a week and then have enough footage for that out. Also, I want to notice the face here. I also didn't use the police station because I forgot, but again, if you're going to get my opinion as a wannabe developer at this point, I've just been gone for so long that I might as well just be a wannabe developer, that, I can give some insight into what's happening here. Also, we have enough Doom to just boldly stride up this lighthouse, so let's just try to get into this lighthouse. And away we go. Yeah, for me to give a kind of insight into what's going on, I think the Time Warper was my second encounter. So yeah, new DLC for Hubked. Adding, that would be awesome. They might actually do that, but again, it would be very quiet if that's the case. Usually when you're as a developer or anyone working on a game, again, from my as much of a professional opinion as I can give, you usually keep things on the down low. That's just, as I've mentioned a few times in the past, there's no real reason to start hyping up things. Now, the developers or anyone behind, if that were in place, they could be like, oh, we're planning the DLC, but usually you want something on your plate before you make announcements. That's basically all I'm trying to say. Basically, I wouldn't be surprised. I would wager that something like that is in the works for Hubked, but otherwise, it would be quiet until they're near ready for release. Something like that would just shoot up right out the gate, unless of course they're working on the sequel. Then they would just plan it to be after that. Basically, let's just play theoreticals here as I move on to another custom character. If I were the person in charge of decisions making Cuphead, as I just outright say the name, I shouldn't have done that, but if I were in charge, basically I would want to wait a few months before I even start not start anything, before I even released anything, just to kind of give some leeway into what I can and can't do. Definitely do some research behind what I can and can't do. But anywho, I'll talk about this custom character in a moment, but I think they have 2 knowledge, right? We definitely want to work with ally attack, but basically things would be silent for now, unless you're Infestation 88, which again, they're far enough along where you want to say something. That's not to say that you can't. If we're to play a little bit of a devil's advocate, that's not to say that you can't announce something before you really have anything concrete. At bare minimum, though, you do want the concept and development started, if anything, but usually in the gaming industry, you want something made as a bare minimum before you make any announcements, because otherwise it doesn't go well. Light, second, strength, dexterity, charisma, every single stat check maybe, but no second encounter, and no Takushi-san. But I do want to run ally attack because we have enough things. But yeah, if we're to continue talking about this, it is a very, as an indie, if you're an independent game developer, or you're a studio or again development team with less than 5 people working on a game, the general rule is that you probably shouldn't announce anything before you literally are near completion or have completed the game, because otherwise it doesn't go well. History says it doesn't go well, but the main reason is that if we're to talk about actual concrete reasons, if you announce a game and your game is not at least 75% complete, if you're one person making a game and your game is not 75% complete, that opens you up to both risk and unforeseen developments, and then you end up putting out something that is different from what you announced. Or you get, the flip side of that is that you get audience reactions and then that influences the last 25% of your development, which can result in a worse game usually. Sometimes it's a better game. But usually, if it's going to be a better game, that's because you put out a test of your game, early access, beta, so on and so forth. It's a very... And yeah, that sounds like a lot of theoreticals in the latter case of audience influencing your game, but it happens more often than you think. I just don't have the example set in my mind right now because I'm also concentrating on this stream. But just know, like, if you were to work on hearsay, I would trust myself. But anywho. Yeah, so horror games are the easier answer. So if the question is why horror game, hey, okay, Akamanto, Metamorphosis, or I guess we're going to do. I'm taking Metamorphosis third. That I know for sure. I could take Ward and try to find Paranoid Patient, but I have Nails and Akamanto too, which is why I'm taking Nails first. Now did I take the, okay, I did. Which also allows me to grab the thingy. We do start with 16 funds. That is something this character actually starts with. So that's definitely going to be a lot of cigarette plays. But first and foremost, let's actually work with ally attack. I should have done the schoolyard first. I don't know why I did that. Well, I just gimped myself. I could just let go of Masafumi for giggles. But I've already made my choice. So I guess we're only doing 10 damage ally attacks. And we're going to illegal den the rest of our things. Now, when we go into the Zektast run, we're not going to be doing this, but while we're here, maybe we get a brick. Oops, I went to the vending machine a lot more than I thought. But more importantly, we're making use of our doom. And our funds. But we also want to grab the hospital pass, because that's going to save us a lot. So away I go. And yeah, we'll save these cigarettes for later. So another game. Yeah. Yeah. Expensive, requires a thought and a scenario. If you mean horror games, yeah. Yeah. Horror games, though, you can kind of just go... Well, you can say that for a lot of genres, actually. So I'm actually going to take that back. Yeah, it depends. It depends on the genre. It does depend on the genre. Theoretically speaking, if I were to say horror games, you can just kind of go into a... You can make very short games, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Hold on, let me just do this. We have Ward, so I'm going to set police station to hospital. Because what you could do, and this is just for me, you can just take this idea, because I'm not going to do it. Or I am doing it, but I'm... For horror games, basically, you could just make a horror game where you go between rooms, and then you get out eventually, if you were to make a very short game. For a fighting game, you can just make a 3 to 4 character fighting game, and just kind of change the variation on rounds. If you're to make a shooting game, you could do the same thing, just add rooms and shoot your way through rooms. Platformers, we know a bunch of platformers. The Amazing Triangle game, or whatever you want to call it. I keep forgetting what their names are, but platformers you can easily make like a few so levels, and then just make early access. Very simple things, very one screen room platformers that change between rooms, something up to that effect. So again, you could go inexpensive with it, is what I'm trying to say. So with 7 charisma, we get to do this. Is it going to be for the best though? And I didn't keep my handcuffs, but we shouldn't need them if I do this. Unless we do just so little damage that it doesn't matter, but we have the HP to burn, so I don't really mind it as much. So we should be out next turn. I forgot to kick, by the way. And now I'm in a bit of a pickle. But thankfully, yeah, as long as we hit those, I can option select the brick throw. My voice is already going. It's been a while since I streamed, obviously, so let me get back into the groove. Hospital pass, handcuffs. 33% doom, but we have a shorter ward. But we have Akamanto Metamorphosis. Well, we have Akamanto Metamorphosis. So we're going to take Akamanto next. So with that said, effectively I'm at 23% doom. So yeah, I can just keep going. So I probably took your comment completely in a different direction, but if nothing else, hey, at least give you a bit of what I'm thinking about. This is real, right? Okay, it is. And then I can forget it. I mean, it's not really going to grant too much of an advantage, but we'll take anything we can get. I mean, a free spellcast is a free spellcast. Okay, pretty much hit the spot? Okay, good. I mean, either way, I gave everyone some food for thought, me included. So we'll just do this. Actually enter this. We got badly bruised instead, but... So we do have fame here. Actually, we just become Omega, right? Or Alpha, sorry. Why do we say Omega? I mean, I guess it has a different connotations, but... Yeah, we should be plenty powerful now. I actually still have the steak knife. I completely forgot about that, but... All we need to do is make sure that we have enough... We can actually go to the vending machine again. All we need to do is make sure we have enough stamina to survive before Akamanto. I think there's actually a source for this character. But don't quote me on that because I forgot. I only remember this picking up this character and looking into them when I got them the day they were made available in the repository is what I'm trying to say. And with that being said, I'm going to be busy today, but yesterday I was supposed to have also started uploading my characters elsewhere, and I did not. So, you know what? We'll see what I get done. Also missed an 80%, but hey, we can brace here. I don't want to keep bracing though, because we do have Akamanto soon, but if I have to... Yeah, I probably should have just ally attacked. We can't ally attack still? Really? It's fine. Kind of. We can rest twice, but it's still... I should have smoked cigarettes. That's what I should have done. I have more than enough to survive the rest of the run, but... Yeah. But I like the design of this character too. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to add on to the comment. Now, what can I actually get done here is the question. So I get 16 damage minimum. I should be able to handcuff this immediately. And I do. But we're also going to immediately equip the Crestfallen Mask because things split right through the middle there. But yeah, we will immediately go into Ward, I think? No, Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. We want to stop this boss from getting an extra point of damage. But anywho. So yeah, we lost all of our funds now. We could sell the steak knife. Yeah, I'm going to sell the steak knife. That's... Yeah, I could throw it for 5 damage, but... Boy. Boy. Oof. So as I move on, let's see what I actually get to do. Does this character have 1 knowledge? I can't even tell what the knowledge is right now. I guess that's the thing I'm worried about, but as long as I don't get another stack of brain damage, we should be fine. I should be fine. Now, what's not going to be fine, as I use Cauterize here, and then forget Kinfa Ritual, unless I do this. This also includes when my... This could be a very interesting... I'm gonna use it, because it costs Doom on Ath. Yeah, I'm seeing 1 as well, so hopefully nothing bad happens, but... As I just go completely crazy doing ally attacks... and take 3 Doom for my trouble. Let's see what happens in this boss fight. I don't think that's what I wanted to say, but we definitely do want to see. So can I brace into an ally attack? It looks like I can. And I can. So away I go. Now, unfortunately, we're not doing as much damage, but as I'd like, but this is good enough. 2 all damage and metamorphosis on Harbinger. That's a pretty good metamorphosis. It's not the best, but it's better than what you would normally get, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, what else do we have? For a level up, we get improvise. We also get leadership. I do want to put my charisma to 8. For safety reasons, I should put a point into knowledge or strength, but we're not going to do that because we want to keep buffing ally attack. That's really the end result, the end goal here. But as we get into ward and, you know, walk our way through. So, Kin for Ritual, we don't have Takshisan at the end, so I do need to try and time this. And what I'm trying to do basically is find an enemy where I can send all of my allies at, because there they die and I think that should proc. I don't often do it, so that's why I don't know. But otherwise, I just want a weapon. That would make me feel a lot better as well. But we'll see. Did I get improvised, by the way? No, I didn't. I took leadership, right? For the double charisma boost. So yeah, we have charisma, we have the power. Thankfully we did. Because if we rolled an 11 or 12, I would have been very unhappy. I would have expected it, but I would have still been unhappy. That doesn't change the fact I would not be happy. Now, unfortunately, here's an encounter we can't ally attack. We can do 5 damage per sever, but that's not saying much. So, bye. Now, what will we get to do to our boss fight here? That would be nice. I could brace instead, so I don't lose. Because I ran away from that ghost, I want to actually defeat this so that I don't have to run and lose more doom. That's what's going through my mind. And I guess this is the best I get, so away we go. And if I'm feeling lucky, I do that. Otherwise, if I get really unlucky and I roll double 8s here, would have been a heck of a thing. Although we did get time skip, so if I did do a ending B there, ending B, it would have been really bad. And now, into footage we go. So, the question is if I can time this, because when you let your allies go, I don't think they die. Or they don't proc Kin for Ritual is the most important thing. So the question is... I was about to say... The question is... Will I run into another enemy? If the answer to that is no, then I'm not going to get to use Kin for Ritual, basically. That's really all that's going to happen here. I'm just gonna go out of my... No, I'm gonna do this. I can't tell how much knowledge I have, by the way. But we'll move on. I shouldn't die to knowledge. We have 3 strength. We're gonna spend the doom. We'll visit the mansion twice. But basically, I'm gonna wait for my next forest encounter. Now, this is not great. But we have the reason to spare, so I don't really care as much. Unless we hit all 10s here, but we don't, so... yeah. But this is to shorten the amount of forced investigations I have to do, so you know what? So be it. Into the village I go. That's a max threat level location, but that would have been bad. Now this is a lot of doom. And I don't need the allies, so away I go. And here I should send all of my allies if I'm feeling confident, so fight. Fight. I should be watching to see if my stats increase. I don't think they're increasing. No, I don't think they're increasing. I really feel like they're not increasing. So all I've really done is just lose a bunch of allies. We can still do this, but at what cost, really? So yeah, that was good to know. That's good to know so that when I do it in a serious video series, I don't end up destroying my only means of dealing a lot of damage. That was really bad, by the way. Anywho. So, do we get to do this? We do. Thank goodness we can get 6 damage guaranteed, although if we run into another encounter, this is gonna end well. Not well. But hey, we got out in the second... I think that's the first time I've finished it. Well, maybe it's not the first time. I don't know if I've ever finished the mystery in one investigation, forced investigation. Basically meaning immediately. That, along with them dying to distract the enemy and I think the other one, but I can't remember. So, I mean, I haven't tested it yet. And if I have, I've forgotten because I don't often do that. I don't often use kin for ritual in general. That's all I'm trying to say. But we should be able to survive no matter what, so let's just walk up this lighthouse and see. We did Akamoto second, and we should be good from now on, because nothing else can really hurt us. And I'll take a sip of water. But yeah, that's a non-Zektast run. In a Zektast run, we can use the other advantage of this character, which is to grab... When you give a character a lot of funds, that's also a strong start. While it's not a guaranteed good weapon, funds is just as good in the way that it allows you some flexibility at the very beginning of a run. Again, because for me specifically, but in general, cigarettes exist, so you can grab a weapon and then grab cigarettes, or grab a tainted violin and an occult shop weapon, whatever you want. It's a lot, basically. And this character does start off with a weapon already, but if you want to be really conservative about it, you can grab tainted violin and or cigarettes and then steak knife your way to victory. That I can see happening, but 5 dexterity is more than... Again, you give this character a lot of funds, that's actually more than enough balanced. So, yeah, I mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. This is 15 funds, 16 if you count the figurine, but it's a lot. Second encounter, Takushi-san, charisma, light. Second mystery, maybe dexterity. So maybe we do want to stick with the steak knife. It's the only dexterity weapon that's really reliable as a dexterity if you're building into dexterity, but we'll see. We definitely don't want to run ally attack on Zektast. That's going to get me killed. So, more often than not, it personally gets me killed. But maybe not for others. But we'll see. So we lost the notes, so that's less funds. Boo-hoo. Again, I don't really mind it as much because we have 16 funds. But we'll see. This character does have fame and other stuff, but Metamorphosis, Sailors, Teacher, Botanist, and Bulletin. So what do I want to do? I want to do a Bulletin first, but we have Teacher's Metamorphosis. Sailors last, Botanist as well. Yeah, we'll do Bulletin first. We'll... let's see here. Well, 16 funds, again, is actually not a lot if you're mainly trying to buy cigarettes. And we'll just do it now because that's probably what I'm going to employ. This is probably the strategy I'm going to employ. Although, realistically speaking, it's enough cigarettes to last you the important parts of a run, which are usually boss encounters, but I like saving funds because I usually get pickpocketed anyway. School downtown max threat level. So yes, you are right, basically. That's basically more than enough than you need. Because if you're buying that many things, unless you have shopping perks, which may make sense. Again, it's all for cigarettes, but if you do Tainted Violin plays, if you do Holy Candle plays, if you do Dog Shop, if you run Dog Shop, this character has a lot more interesting ways to play. So yeah. And let's just immediately move on. What do I have again? Bulletin, Botanist. So we have a few downtowns. Metamorphosis, Teacher. So we have a...
it's a toss-up between downtown and school. I don't remember the exact number. If I did, I would know which one is set here, but I'm just gonna set downtown for now. And move on. But yeah, having a lot of funds does make for a strong character. Now, our knowledge only being at 2, and then our strength at 3, does mean that we have some Zektast stats to make up. But this character can comfortably finish a run with under 84%, so... Now, I would have liked to pass that check for funds, but... Hey. But since we have funds to lose, I don't mind gambling funds. That's the flip side of it. Because when you run out of funds does factor somewhat into your run. So not having to deal with it does help out. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. It does help out. Now, that being said, would I like, if you start off with, say, even like a heavy-duty flashlight, might that be better? Sure, but I probably shouldn't have done that. I made a mistake. Anywho. Yeah, the most pressing issue is that we need to level up ASAP. Otherwise, we will die to zeroing on knowledge. Barring a Zektast event, we will die to knowledge. I don't think we can brace anything. No, we cannot. So, we just eat 6 stamina damage. And I don't think there's any consumable item. There's a spell, but there's not a consumable item that increases your knowledge, right? So, the issue is we need to level up soon. And if you start off with funds, you're more likely to start off with less doom. Because you don't need to grab funds, is what I'm just saying. So, realistically enough, this character should have an easier time. But if you don't level up and increase their knowledge, you are in a bit of trouble. And that's all I really have to say. That's not the stat I wanted to see, but it's Zektast. Whatever, man. I had to stop and think for a moment of what I'm going to do, because we're not going to level up here. And I actually should have set the trash can on fire in that event. I probably would have been able to level up. You know what? With that said, I'm just going to take extra experience here before I do teacher. And let me just test the thing really quickly. I do have it. The sensor bunny. But my issue is... because even if we level up here, right? The pressing and ghost encounters are a heck of a thing here. Oh boy. Yeah, because having less than 4 knowledge as well does a heck of a thing for ghost encounters. So maybe there are a lot more negatives than positives for this character, but oh man, I can't really fight this. I really can't, so we do have to run. We'll visit the monument twice to make up for it. Hopefully it asks for funds. That's a kind of a plus side, but it's not the best plus side. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? History Club, I could History Club for a spell or a perk if we're really willing to spend 10 Doom there. It is, to avoid dying, yeah, you would spend 10 Doom to increase their knowledge by 1, effectively, right? Through getting folklore studies. If you grab the spell, that could be a thing, but hey. So we will level up here. This character has Tarot Reader. Tarot Reader? Well, we need to increase the knowledge. Although we do need to cease folklore studies at some point, because then I would be able to increase knowledge as well. But we'll see. So if I can get out of these next two mysteries, that would be nice. What do we have? Metamorphosis, so I should, to save on... I can't do 2 steak knife attacks. That would have been really... I should have actually smoked cigarette. I should smoke them now. I don't know why I did not smoke them. I made a mistake. Either way, I guess I'm just going to use handcuffs regardless. We get bonus damage. I didn't know that, but... Or I forgot that if I did know it. But the more pressing concern is whether we're going to be able to do this. We cannot. So, this could spell the end of us real soon. So, if we get badly bleeding, that's going to be very terrible. We got hunger instead, because I think that's the backstory at work. But as we remove the sensor and move on, that is a lot of experience to get, but it won't matter if we don't get... I think we need folklore studies. That's what I'm trying to say. But we'll see. Into Metamorphosis we go, which is going to be do a number on our HP. And we need to keep Doom to a minimum. Because this is very, very painful. So let's hope. That's not great. But as background noises happen, yeah, we're things are happening around me, which I will need to be, which is why this stream may need to be. I might even have to end the stream after this run, because otherwise I might not be able to do a proper good run and review of the third character. So maybe we'll see what happens. I don't want to take this fight though. It's not really good. Interestingly enough, with 3 dexterity, I can still do 3-ish attacks, but this is not a very good gamble for me. I don't want to run. That's going to be very scary. So I think instead I am going to fight this. I don't get to brace into anything, so we are just going to roll the dice here. And if we die, we die, and if we don't, we don't. Or we're just dead. That's right. So into the next... Yeah, that's really a... How would you fix that? Aside from... Well, mystery combination is not a thing, because if I wanted easier mysteries, that's not something the character really has control over. I guess we'll just move on. No, actually, we'll review for a moment, so I can get one good run with this character. I might just put out another video, either today or tomorrow, but... Because I won't be able to get to a Zack Task run, that I promise you. But, let me reflect on that previous run. What would I do differently? I guess not visit the vending machine at all, but I need those cigarettes. Steak knife was not going to go well. I guess grabbing a weapon was the main alternative there. Yeah, it would be to grab another weapon. Either a monkey wrench or something else. No, monkey wrench with that one. No, not with that character, because the strength is too low. Ooh. I guess it would be just to rush in, right? Steak knife is not... Yeah, hard for me to say. I guess... Yeah, hard for me to say. Hard for me to say. Right now, anyway. But as we move into probably our last run for the stream, so just announcing that. Yeah, I'm just going to call it there, because I won't be able to do another run. I won't be able to give a good playthrough. But at the World of Horror, character-exclusive character... Custom character. I don't think they start with anything. Actually, let me check that really quick. Now I'm just interested. If we're going to give one good run, I might as well take a look. And the answer is no. I will look at the perk packs, because I might as well. Sports Star Petty Thief. So that's not discipline. That is Fast Swimmer, Core Strength, and Looting Pickpocket. Pickpocket, right? 77354 stat spread, but any character with high strength is already usually above average unless you're going to give them like 2 perception, 3 knowledge. This character has 4 perception, 6 knowledge, but obviously Harbinger things. And away we go. And, you know, I might as well just say it. Apparently we're playing with a VTuber. And I think... You know what? Yeah. Well, do I want to say what I'm going to say? No, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. So, footage, ramen, vigil, recluse, ward. But basically we're working with stuff. And I'm pretty sure, I feel pretty confident this is a VTuber because I did look into it. Question mark. Yeah. I should have looked into it. So I feel confident saying that. We do want a weapon regardless, so we're going to prepare here for a hot moment. But we want to hope for the monkey wrench. That's the go-to. Otherwise, you know what? Considering that we're working with the thingy-majiggy, I should have picked carpenter hammer, but you know what? I'll a TED talk on shovel because I'm probably the only person who really plays with the shovel. We're actually going to do this. Because I lose... If I'm going to be losing 2 reason-ish, I might as well take experience while I'm here. That's my whole ghost... Or toilet ghost. Ghost toilet would be an interesting enemy, wouldn't it? But anywho. As we nerf our luck to the ground. Quick TED talk on shovel. You're doing prep heavy. That's really all your... That's really all that needs to be said. And you live and die by the prep heavy. But we're gonna police station the hospital. I think I have ward. Let's see if I remember this right. And then you use the funds to probably grab a pack of cigarettes. But really you're trying to synergize it with anything that you have. Like say you have swing and hit. Say you have damage mitigation. Then shovel becomes a much more viable option while granting you funds to use for whatever the heck you want. Realistically speaking, aside from cigarettes, you might want to enable a cult shop for a holy candle play. Because then you can logically try to make holy candle plays where you have maybe a school mystery left or I think sailors counts as well, where you can use the holy candle. But the more important part of shovel, if we're to talk about shovel more, is that shovel is more advantageous for early mysteries. And so you grab the funds design-wise. If I'm trying to work with the design of shovel, you grab funds from shovel fun procs while you're defeating enemies relatively quickly to buff yourself later on in the run. Usually in the way of cigarettes for me, personally. But, hey... If it doesn't happen, then that's the downside of cigarettes. We're gonna keep building strength while we're here, though. And we'll try to make things work. Again, not really much else to say on that front. Recluse, Ward, Ramen, Vigil. So I did not enable Illegal Den. And we did have Hospital, by the way. Hospital investigations. But I'm gonna take Recluse now while I'm healthy. And that's really all I need to say. We actually might just end up selling this stuffed toy, but we'll see. We get funds back, so never mind. And we'll see what we can do. I might actually just enter the hardware store again. But this is still okay for now. This is fine. As fire is not burning around me, hopefully. But we should be able to if I want to throw the shovel, I could... Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, because I think the shovel does a good amount of damage when thrown. I guess we're going to find out. We're going to do a double sever this turn, lose 3 reason, but the next turn I should be able to sever, defeat this encounter. Yeah, 5 damage when thrown, that's a lot. Now, I wanted to take Ward next, but now I don't have a weapon. So, what we're going to do is take a Town Mystery instead. Or I could take Vigil, but we're going to take Ramen instead.
sell the stuffed toy. Hardware shop for something better. Nope. I guess we're just going to replace the shovel with the carpenter hammer. I'm shaking my head in real life, but hey. I've made my choice. And we'll move on. Lose reason. Still, having 8 strength or high dexterity, but mainly high strength, allows for more comfortable, safe runs. If you want to play with dodge, though, having high dexterity helps out as well, but for me, it's mostly being able to do this. Because a lot of enemies eventually do, or if they don't start out doing odd, or 3 damage specifically. Because let's be serious, having bracing on 5 is not that great either. It's still a lot better than just eating it in the face or hoping to dodge, but I don't like taking risks. That's the end-all be-all of it. Now, I'm going to risk this here, mainly to try and save on stamina, and that's probably the risk I'm willing to take. Can I get Fast Swimmer, by the way? That would be very helpful. Well, that would have been a lot more helpful earlier, but I didn't see it. Although Daddy's Girl isn't a bad perk, if I were to choose between the two, I'd take Fast Swimmer first. Oh, we should be able to 2-tap this guy for -1 all? Can I just do this? With Fast Swimmer, I should be able to just do this, right? Yeah, I can. That way I only take -1 all, compared to -2 all, which is a lot more damage. Also, I've been seeing more people play Harbinger, if I'm to go off tangent for a moment. That's a really, yeah, Harbinger is a, not a different beast, but it is a beast of some sorts, where, yeah, you're eating a lot of damage. I should go watch some of those videos and streams again of people playing, because I didn't really get to get a good look. All I've really been doing is listening to people play Harbinger. Obviously, because I'm doing things on my own as well, but yeah, as people are finding out, Harbinger is not as fun as you think. Now, what I will say is that when I see people playing on Harbinger, they often get, like, they get kana and katana, the kana syllables. I don't know why. People just tend to get lucky on Harbinger a lot, but that doesn't change the fact that I think most of them end up not winning, because it's, yeah, you're people rest a lot, and you need to try to avoid resting, if that makes any sense. Because all that happens if you keep resting is that your doom shoots up, and now you're at 60% doom in the middle of at the start of your 3rd mystery, which it's not great. It's not great. As someone who's been there more and again, 60% doom on your 3rd mystery, starting your 3rd mystery, you want to be at 60% at the end of your 3rd mystery, if anything, but obviously that's not always possible. But yeah, a lot of it is battle optimization. Whether that's through dodging, because you like dodging. I personally don't, but I can see people using dodge here and there. Or you brace. Although recently I've seen a lot of people dodge. I don't know, I just have to point that out, both to get that pet peeve off my chest, because it's funny, but also because it's, again, in a vacuum of runs. Now, if you're trying to just complete 100% achievement World of Horror, and you just happen to, well, first of all, you wouldn't be 100%ing the game on Harbinger. That would be, unless you're going for cookie points, which does get you cookie points in my book, but I would not advise it. That's, the only people doing that are people who have been playing the game for more than 2 years, or have had the game for more than 2 years and been playing for that long. So, again, just to give you an idea of the type of thought process that goes into doing such a thing. Now, that being said, as I throw this baseball bat to get out quicker, World of Horror is not the hardest game to learn and get good, quote-unquote, good at playing at. Can't win. Harbinger tried 3 times. Just can't. Yeah, so this game is, again, to give you kind of a threshold. The game is balanced around a developer who, reportedly, according to what the developer's own words, has trouble winning on cultist difficulty. So,
let that sink in as you think about the difficulty on Harbinger, because that is somewhat relevant if you consider the fact that, just objectively, right? This is not, there are no positive or negative connotations that go along with this. So think about that when a developer who cannot reliably, we'll assume reliably, complete their own game on normal difficulty, deciding to make a hard Harbinger difficulty, period. That's all I need to say. But basically balancing the game, balancing harder difficulties, while not being able to complete the hard... Now, that being said, specifically in this case, if we were to be subjective for a moment, I'm just going to go double knowledge. I don't even remember my lighthouse, but the developer does at least listen to the community when we tell them, because I've also said things in the Discord, you can see these messages, when the developer asks things like what would be good ideas here and there for difficulties specifically in this context, the developer listens. And when we say, hey, don't do this, this would be interesting, this would not be interesting, this would be fun, this might not be fun. And I don't say as much as I run away from this encounter. Because I believe enough in the relative community that exists for World of Horror, mainly the Discord, because that's where they develop. There's a reason why I tell people to go into the Discord over and over, because if you want in the actual, living community of people who play World of Horror regularly, as I proceed to die to a luck check, then the Discord community was that. That's not to say that the Reddit doesn't have a community there as well, but when I think about it, more than a few people from the Discord are part of the Reddit community anyway, so I'm struggling in real life, as I say. Basically, the takeaway is the developer, if you want to reach out to the developer in some way, the Discord would be as it is. Obviously, use common sense. Do not hassle anyone, the developer included, there, because otherwise the rules have been set for the Discord now, or more rules have been set, so understandably, since the game's come out, more people have come in. But one last thing about the character. Yeah, that was just on me dying. I should have actually rested there. I don't know why I didn't rest. I could say I was off focus, but I think I had like a healthy amount of stamina and relatively reason, but there was no reason for me to believe, I think I was, if not stuck, there was no reason for me to believe I went into a reason loss event into the elevator event. Now, that's something I should think about now, because I've died to it, finally, but yeah, no reason I shouldn't have won. This character has a very good stat spread, and they have a very good perk pack selection. Even though Petty Thief has Pickpocket, it's not the worst thing in the world. At least Pickpocket and looting work relatively well compared to other perks that may not even see use or are just outright bugged, but I'm struggling in real life, as I say. The character is not bad. It's just me that messed up. But yeah, without further ado, not much else to this stream. Please support me if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'm still, as is often on this platform, people watch videos, and most of the people watching videos on any channel are usually not subscribed. And for me, personally, subscribing would help out my channel the most. Otherwise, memberships are also open, but subscribing is the free way. And yeah, Thursday will be the Spire stream, unless anyone wants to throw out anything that they've seen me play recently and want to see me play more of, but otherwise, not really much else. If I only do event of the day for a 24-hour period on this channel, then that'll be it, because I am working on games I think I'm just gonna say it right now, because I have gotten some progress on them, as I have mentioned earlier in the stream about game development. So I think I'm just gonna put out 2 free RPG Maker games that I'm gonna continue working on. Obviously, on itch.io, things are gonna be as they are there, but I'm still working on a commercial project. It's just that things have happened recently where I have more time to spend more time working on a more polished commercial project. So when that happens, it happens. Maybe I get to throw something on Steam. That's just how I'm working with them now. But just to give you some prospects moving on, because, hey, and they're not going to be really anything spectacular. Both of the 2 games I'm probably going to release within January, probably 60%. each of them is a chance to release both of them. They're not going to be anything huge. They're going to start small, but they're things that I probably want to work on and then kind of feature-ish on this channel because it's the most interactive thing I can really get accustomed to putting on this channel, aside from more World of Horror stuff, aside from more playthroughs, and aside from my very soft, non-binding Slay the Spire contract video streams, even though it's not a contract at all, and I mean, I am having fun with it. So, yeah, I don't know, yeah. So, yeah, holidays, not holidays, I understand. While it would be interesting for me to do Christmas-specific things, from a business standpoint, I think I'm correct in saying that they weren't the smartest things for me to work on, because one, people were already busy with the holidays, and two, if you were watching people do holiday streams or videos and whatnot, it probably wasn't going to be me. So I think I made a smart decision in doing what I did for the holidays. So without further ado, yeah, not much else is the stream. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to help me out the most, short term and long term. If you have any, if you want to refer people to me and subscribe to this channel, that would help out as well. But without further ado, one last time to finally end the stream properly. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. If anything happens, I'll get to you on the community page, which would also be a good reason why to subscribe to this channel. But yeah, that'll be all. Bye!